So this is the first Dragon Athletic podcast. I'm Andy Edwards.
And I'm Spencer Gardner.
In today's show, we're going to just do a quick roundup of the intramural, what me and Spence found was great about it. We're then going to answer two questions which we've received this week. One from Lewis Harrell, which is wants to have a bit more of an understanding of what regionals prep is. And then one from Sally Collins in regards to the pillars of health and fitness and, how we should improve on them. So, diving straight in, Spence, the intramural, first time we've ever done it. What do you think?
Awesome. I think it brought everyone together. One of the criticisms some have of the Open is you get the question quite often, what's the point? And even though we all loved sort of competing against the entire world, suddenly we had a reason to compete against our peers in the gym and the team. And it brought a really, really great atmosphere to those weeks, I think.
And I think that's, what was the aim of putting it on with myself was that enjoyment factor.
Yeah.
Just having some focus for around about 5 weeks in terms of training. And what it kind of lead on to as well is that, if you have a look at the movements that are in play, it may give you some areas which you want to work on.
Yeah.
For me, specifically, I want everyone in the gym to possess pull-ups, because that's a great strength exercise. Whenever you need to run away from the police, you can always pull yourself over an object.
Yeah,
so you can sort of see that as functionality.
Yeah.
And then, if people want to go on to do drunken party tricks like handstand walking, then, it gives them a little bit more capacity to do that as well. So we rounded it up with 18.6, which was a team WOD.
Yeah, awesome WOD that was, I think, as well.
It was good. It was different.
Yeah.
Very different. So a bit of a team focus in there. Very grippy.
Very grippy. A few people struggling a bit on that very creative movement we came up with, I think.
Yeah, I think it's an original one as well.
Yeah, I believe so.
We should trademark that, actually. Maybe into some competition where we can just say we can have two barbells.
Yeah.
I don't know. But just to round that up, we had a 74% turnout rate. Okay, so
wow.
60 people there. Even though Lee was his solo man, I would say, that's actually a lie. We probably had a 50% turnout rate for the people who are partaking in the Open.
Yeah.
However, with the additional people that came along to help and support, then we had more of that sort of higher percentage. So that might be something that we look to change. In terms of when we perform it next year, I think it's definitely something we're going to continue to do.
Yeah, 100%.
But if we are to reflect on it and, the kind of things, certain things I noticed were, obviously the Cowboys ran away with it.
Yeah.
And the Pirates suffered. And that was only due to team selection.
Yeah, we could also, I think we discussed it before, that we could look at different scoring systems so that possibly the scores are carried further down the leaderboard.
Could do.
So that it carries a bit more weight. I think what we might do is have a little play with this year's results with different scoring systems to see how that would affect it.
For sure. Then you'd have more something like an internal kind of Open then.
Yeah.
And then it's sort of the points can go towards that. But it might be something for us to consider next year is not letting a random generator pick the teams. So... Because I think, if you had a look at your team there, Spence, you had yourself in there, you had Darbo in there, you had Gina in there, you had Jenny Banks in there, then we had a lot of the top scaled athletes in there as well. So, it was just a good melting pot of talent, basically.
Yeah, I agree. I think the other thing you could do is we look at the people in there and we rank them, and then you can split them mathematically evenly. I don't know. We're open to suggestions, guys.
100%. And if you guys have any ideas on how to make it a little bit more entertaining or something a little bit more driven for you in particular for that next period in 2019, then just send us a message and we'll get stuck into it. So following on from that, we managed to qualify for regionals.
Congratulations.
It's not been confirmed yet, but we're in the qualifying zone. There's going to be teams that points will be adjusted as individuals decide to go. So as people decide to go as individuals within regionals, so we should pop up a little bit. But I just wanted to say, looking across the board, in terms of gyms, I think we had more people contribute to our going than any other team. Yeah,
we've had a little look at a couple of other teams, and generally, obviously it's a team of 4, but generally speaking, it's around about 5 to 6 members of each gym tend to be putting points in towards their team.
Yeah.
And how many do we have, Andy?
10. 10 people. Those individuals were Lee Duance, yourself, Spencer, Sam Ventris, Alex Kelly, Tani Martinez, myself, Angie Edwards, Sarah Moore, Luke Collard, and Nadine Keeley. All right, so those 10 people all contributed. Oh, have I missed up Jenny Banks? And Jenny Banks. Sorry, Jenny. And Jenny Banks. All those people contributed.
What does that say?
It says we've got strength and depth.
Strength and depth.
So that's the next major competition that will be coming up. Again, it'd be good to get 2 teams in. I think that's a fair representation of what our community is. It is at a bit of an awkward time, maybe, but we'll have to wait and see how everything unfolds over the next couple of months. But yeah, we'll keep you guys posted in regards to bits and pieces. Again, want to have 2 teams in there, which would be pretty good. So in terms of special mentions of certain individuals, Lee contributed 4 scores, Sam contributed 5, myself contributed 4, and then Angie contributed 4 as well.
Incredible.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive. However, even though she contributed 4, she doesn't actually feature in the team 4 because she's not ranked within the gym. Plus she's lower in Europe, so it actually shows in terms of how close it was. Absolutely,
and the way the Open works is you need that consistency to sort of score in the sort of European stroke world leaderboard. We've sort of extrapolated people's positions, and it is quite interesting to see. You know, you look at Ange putting all those scores in for the team. Jenny is 200 positions above her in Europe-ish?
150.
150?
I can't remember.
It was 100 something, so 300.
300, and sure, she's over
300 something.
Alright, yeah, so it would be 200.
Yeah. So it's the Open rewards consistency, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Cool. So, I mean, it's great. We're going. Lots of people contributed. The question actually is what does our regional preparation look like? Well, as of this week, Monday just gone, we've decided to do a 6-week prep in the run-up to going to Berlin. These sessions are open to anyone that wants to actually come and join. The only thing that we require and we ask is that you just head down, arse up, get the work done. So the preparation is that we've now started to train twice a day. This is to replicate the intensity and the fitness demands which is going to be required of us in regionals, where there's going to be 2 workouts in a day. And then also just to get us into a little bit more of an athletic position. And what I mean is that all of us in the run-up, we're just working out once a day. You know, and we're going into a field where there's people who are taking this a little bit seriously. So it's going to be actually really interesting to see how this polishes up, how we actually fare when we, put our heads in the game a little bit, and go from there. But what I want this to be, and I think because of the way the regionals are all set up now, is the start. What I mean by the start is that I think we've got a good group of people here, yourself included, Spence, even in that sort of Masters arena, who can contribute and help another team go towards regionals maybe. It's just taking a big risk in trying to put 2 teams together. We've got to really back that. But, it's something for us as a community to get behind. I mean, look, CrossFit as a sport isn't for everyone, but everyone wants a team to support, and so we're going out there because there's 10 people that have contributed the scores. I feel we're going out there to represent you guys, not to represent ourselves or anything like that.
Oh, cool. Well, what sort of, you're saying you're going to be training twice a day. What sort of times in the day are you looking to train in case people want to sort of jump in and have a go?
Well, luckily enough, we don't work a normal 9 to 5. So it will be in the morning. We do a morning session, and then what we've decided is that if we can get in for a second session as a team, we'll do that. But generally, it's around about that 9. Maybe even earlier than that, actually, because tomorrow Spence and I have to start work at I have to start work at 10, so I have to get in at 8, get my session done, and get away from there, and then probably later on in the day, maybe about 3:30 before I start work again in the evening. So it's those kind of times, but we're just sort of fitting it in. If you wanted to come in and see what we were doing, or just ask, that's cool. That's cool. It's pretty demanding. It's pretty high skilled. So, like, if you're not up to that sort of level yet, it'd probably be best for you to really sort of drill those skills in terms of like push-ups, pull-ups, handstand push-ups, those kind of things, and then sort of lead you on to other things as
Yeah.
well. So I mean, it's just interesting. I've sat down with Anthony Cusack yesterday, and he's really driven now. He finished 3,000th in the European Central. He wants to improve on that. So his target is top 1,000, which I think is doable. But he's come to see me, what he needs to do in order to do that. We've had a quick little understanding of where he needs to improve, and I think he can sort of do that. But again, he's gaining himself from being a health and fitness member to just wanting for this next 12 months, just have a little bit more of a competitive focus on it.
It makes me just come up with an idea then for next year as far as motivating guys in the Open. Is we could look at doing something where we look at the most improved score from the previous year.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Because that's a huge driving force, going from 3,000 to 1,000. First of all, that's 100% doable. And secondly, doesn't that give you a focus?
I like that.
And I think everyone, if you look at it as a percentage gain, so if you came 500th, etc., look at that percentage gain from year on year, I think that could be a fantastic internal driving force.
Let's put that in the pink book.
Yeah, it's going in the pink book.
So for those of you that don't know, the pink book is it's like our Dragon CrossFit Bible, where we put everything that we need to do in the pink book.
Yeah, and ideas.
Yeah. And if we ever lose the pink book,
that
person's in trouble. So,
we forget everything.
We forget everything. We'll be lost. Anyway, so that's what we're doing. As soon as we're officially we've had the invite, that's when I will publish on social media. The reason why I've held back is because it's not because of not wanting to do it. I want to thank everyone, but I want to make it official because there's nothing worse than putting something out there and then having to either retract it or just look like a celebrity, really.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think that's fair. Cool. So this leads us on then to the remainder or the future of the podcast.
Yeah.
We want it to be driven by you as a start, and then as it starts to gain momentum, me and Spence will probably start to bring our own ideas in, etc. We enjoy talking.
Yeah.
We found that's really helped us out, and it's starting to cement the ideas we have with health and fitness, but also the learning and knowledge which we're always doing. Sally Collins, who's been a member with us for about 5 years, maybe even a bit longer, suggested that we start to talk about stuff which outside of the gym, in terms of stuff we can all... You said it was on silent.
It's the laptop.
Oh, right. Okay. Creepers. Decline, yes. Spencer's a busy man, so he's finding in some time to get some podcast time in. Anyway, so everyone's sort of heard about these pillars of health, etc., and everyone's got a different version of what they do. But I just want to sort of like clarify what these pillars may be or what they mean to myself. So, in a particular order, it's about sleep, it's about nutrition. Those two things, okay, if you get control under in your life, everything else is a little bit easier.
Okay.
And I just think within modern society and our current environments, those are the two hardest things.
Yeah.
All right. And I don't think people actually pay particular attention to them because it's just one of those natural things. Or, well, I get up, I go to sleep, I watch TV, I have my breakfast. All right. And so it's just one of those background noises where you sort of ignore. However, both of those things are essential and provide the raw materials for every single one of your life's processes.
Yeah.
If you actually want to truly push your health and fitness to the next level, or just health, man, if you want to create that buffer against chronic diseases, so chronic diseases and stuff like type 2 diabetes, heart failure, cancers, certain cancers, obviously, there's epigenetics are involved with that as well. Those two things, they're within your control.
And the society we live in, I'm guessing, is against us on those. If you look at things, I wouldn't
necessarily say. I don't want to put sort of words in your mouth for society. I would say our culture and our environment.
Okay.
So I know the reason why I say society is like that's more about the UK. I say globally. Yeah. Our environment has changed.
Yeah, because for me, it's things such as whether it's sleep, as far as being on your phone. You're in bed, you're going to bed, and for the last 15 minutes you're sitting in bed, you're on your phone, clicking through Facebook. Well, that's not going to help you sleep.
It's not, and that's what the first pillar that we're going to actually talk about now is, and we're just going to run through the importance of sleep hygiene. Actually, if I just backtrack a little bit, sorry, the mess of out. So
you're not talking about clean sheets, are you?
No, I'm not talking about clean sheets. Although a nice clean bed is
essential.
Yes.
You always sleep well when you got those fresh sheets in.
It's fresh sheets on your own bed because I do a lot of hotel sleeping.
Yeah.
And if that pillow is too soft, I'm tossing and turning. So I'm a little bit precious about my sleeping conditions.
Yeah.
But it does help. But in the grand scheme of things, yes, clean sheets are important. But don't forget, in order to build some capacity, but some immunity, there needs to be a little bit of dirt. Not necessarily on the bed,
a little bit of dirt.
But you know what I mean?
How much dirt?
Well, you don't want to be washing your sheets every day of the week.
No. 2 weeks? You happy with that?
I would have to find some aerial or personal sponsored research that they've done in order to sort of figure out what the ideal situation is.
But you reckon a little bit of dirt is a good thing?
Dirt's the wrong word.
Bed bugs, aren't they? It's the dust. It's the dead skin.
Dust. There we go. It was dust mites. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I work in the gym. We try to keep it as clean as possible. There's inevitably always dust.
Absolutely.
And I guess for long-term health, it's probably not the best. And you definitely don't want to be spending 8 hours in a dusty sheet. That's for sure. You don't want to be taking that stuff into your lungs. But it's interesting. We should have a look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely want to change your mattress every. Was it?
Don't they say 7, 8 years?
7 years, 5 years?
Yeah, at least flip it over every sort of couple of bed change sheets as well.
Like a burger.
Absolutely.
You wait until you get it to that well done stage and then you just change it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because once you get the little butt dip in the mattress, you know it's time to flip.
It's kind of awkward once you're trying to get out of that dip.
I know. Oh, that's my blooming butt dip.
Yeah, my butt dip. It's kind of funny. But sleep hygiene. We digress. Okay, so we've got sleep nutrition, then we've got exercise. Again, what we're trying to do is enhance all of your life's processes, create a resilience, create some strength, create some long-term independence. That's what exercise is there for.
Yeah.
And plus, maybe a little bit of aesthetics.
Yeah.
I mean, before crunching up cornflakes, I'm pretty sure we were all wandering around with, massive pecs and six-pack abs and all that kind of stuff and, those kind of things. But again, it just enhances. It's an enhancement. But then the other thing is as well, which people don't really, and I don't personally believe in the UK talk about because we're pretty closed off, is stress management. Relaxation techniques, okay? It's all a little bit like Eastern civilization, those kind of things. Or what do I want to meditate for? What and I've done it, I know you've done it, and I found it incredibly beneficial, but also very hard.
Right.
Okay, so we can talk about those in, that'll be in 3 podcasts time maybe. I don't know. But what we're going to focus on now then, gang, is sleep, right? So all of us need to sleep. Some of us may struggle with sleep, but I'm going to dive into it with Spence in regards to it's a real, not a quick win, but it's some certain things that you can do to enhance your everyday life. And what I mean by enhance everyday life, it's not like I'm trying to think a hallelujah moment, but you're prepping your body for success. All right, yeah? Prepping your body, prepping yourself for success. Okay. So we're going to talk about this sleep hygiene. I've taken this practicing good sleep hygiene and practice from a guy called Stan Efferdring. There we are, I think I said that right, Efferdring, the White Rhino. So he is a nutritionist, he's a fitness guru, but basically he is the world's strongest bodybuilder. Okay, so this man, he says he's got 30 years of experience, and he's got the not the research, but he's got the articles and the links to the research to back up these claims, etc. So these are the kind of things that we want to be, considering, right? Circadian rhythm, right? So circadian rhythm has only really recently been proven in the last 4 years with the guys, or was it even more recently than that?
Wow.
You sent me the podcast.
I heard a podcast and I didn't know it was that new. It's
pretty. Well, they won a Nobel Prize for Science or something for it. I'm pretty sure they did. But it sort of proves our circadian rhythm. So what circadian rhythm is the natural rise and fall of hormones throughout the day in line with the sunrise and the sunset. And everyone has their own kind of independent one. So some people might like to enjoy staying a little bit later in the night and then getting up a little bit later in the morning. Some people like to go to bed early and like to get up early.
Yep.
Okay, early bird catches the worm. And I'll come up with something, a saying from a guy called John Welborn. which I think always resonates well with me. But anyway, these are the sort of things that we want to be looking at. Circadian rhythm, there's two things. If you're going to go to sleep by 10, you're going to be up by 6 a.m. It's those kind of things. Likewise, if you go to bed at 11, you get up at 7 a.m. All right? But we know by the time, depending where you are in the world, 12 o'clock, that sun's gone. In the middle of summer here, that sun is probably still in the air till around about 10:30, maybe, the latest.
Yeah, latest 10:30.
Latest 10:30. I mean, I've been to Finland where it never disappeared.
Yeah.
That was pretty stressful.
How does that work there then? How would you say this theory, circadian rhythm works in places like that?
I think
you even look at places like Iceland, where obviously they have really long and short days. Absolutely, and they have high levels of depression in those times. So it almost backs the idea up, doesn't it? Mm. You know what I mean? Well,
the big thing is with circadian rhythms, the reason why we're not sticking to it now is artificial light.
Yeah.
All right. So when it gets dark, what do you do? Flick on the lights.
Yeah.
And what that does to you, it actually stops your melatonin production. All right. And it's even worse on iPhones, computers, and televisions because they emit this blue light.
Yeah.
And it's a similar sort of light wave to what the sun emits. So it actually prevents you from going to sleep when you want to. All right. This is why people wake up completely shit-faced and groggy. Is because the artificial light.
Yeah.
And what actually happened as well with the invent of artificial light was something called shift work.
Shift work.
It is proven and scientific. I will try and find the papers, but shift workers live less than regular workers.
And they have a higher level of the modern diseases you mentioned earlier than anyone else. So people like nurses, police, firemen. Although, I don't know, some firemen like to sleep in the nights, and if they have a quiet shift anyway. So, there's those kind of things. But here's a couple of things which you can take into account just to improve your sleep. So every hour of sleep you get before midnight is like 2 hours of extra sleep in the bank. All right. So if you imagine you're going to bed at 10, that's like having 4 hours sleep. Can you see what I mean? Yeah.
So it's money in the bank. You're accruing that rest, that recovery, because what does happen when you sleep? I mean, you spend a third of the day sleeping. It's pretty significant.
Yeah.
You recover. Your body goes back into homeostasis. You can go through autophagy. You fast. There's all these kind of things. It is such a beneficial process. However, we just don't do it enough anymore.
No.
You know, and our modern environment doesn't allow us to do it. So there's certain things which you can do in order to sort of help yourself out. A 20-minute nap in the middle of the day.
Now, you've been doing this. How long have you been doing this for?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. And do you find that you go to sleep?
I didn't at the start.
Yeah.
But now I can drift in quite quickly and then come out quite quickly.
I have seen a test somebody did where they got people to nap for those 20 minutes. And I haven't discussed this with you, but what they did is 20 minutes before they went for that nap, they gave them a shot of coffee.
Oh, the caffeine naps. Yeah.
Caffeine naps. So what happens is you then go for your nap, and then in 20 minutes, when you wake up, the caffeine's kicked in and you feel extra fresh. Have you tried that, or is that something you...
I'm actually trying to pull back on my caffeine intake.
Oh, okay.
So, but I have heard of the powerful caffeine naps.
Yeah.
So it's something that you could experiment with. But the thing is, gang, if you're having 6 cups of coffee a day, it's probably
don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't have 6 cups of coffee.
No. Well, you have 6 cups of coffee if you have to because you're really tired. But these are the kind of things which you're trying to sort of help you out with is trying to step away from those exogenous energy sources.
Yeah, and surely if you're in the position where you need those 6 cups of coffee, you're actually reliant on them. And I personally am one of the people who I never want to feel reliant on something. If I become to the point I'm reliant on something, I'm probably having it too often.
Yeah, 100%. I'd agree with that. The last thing, I can go without coffee in the day now, Spence, I figured out. But that morning one, I can't go without just
really.
Yeah, and it's not because I need the energy fix.
Yeah,
it's because I just absolutely love the taste of coffee.
So you could quite easily go for a couple of weeks without it.
Yeah, but it's this, and this is the thing, gang. I'm human as well.
Yeah.
I have that sort of emotional attachment. But I kind of sort of believe it, not necessarily sets me up for the day, it just makes me happy. All right, so it's probably a bad relationship if I'm really looking at it in...
There's a chap who was obviously, I think it was the same podcast, I think it was the podcast about the sleep, who mentioned about the coffee in the morning. And his theory, and I don't fully agree with this, is that we just get used to having a warm drink. And he's now got to the point where he actually has a warm cup of water, which gives him the same comfort of warm drink in the morning. Now, that could work for some, it might not work for others, but he does think it's almost like the baby having the warm milk in the morning, etc.
And that was exactly what I was going to come on to. That's why people are emotionally attached to milk, is because of the connotation of what happened when we were a kid.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if I was to give you a hug now, you'd have some relief.
Oh, I'd love it.
You know what I mean? It might suckle you.
I don't know what sort of relief I'll have.
Yeah, but why only 20 minutes? If you go any longer than 20 minutes, then you're going to probably start to fall into REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement. This is the deep sleep that we're talking about, where the brain waves change. If you disturb your sleep pattern in that section, then you are basically cutting yourself short, and it's actually doing a disservice.
Right.
All right. Okay. So that's why it is trying to monitor that. Just 20-minute naps. It could even be like, look, it's a bit of a refocus, set you up for the afternoon, concentration, those kind of things. A little bit of time to yourself, phone switched off.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of rules in terms of how do you do those 20-minute naps. All right. You've got to be in a black room. You've got to be in a dark room, or you've just got to have some eye patches on, whatever you need to do. It needs to be silent. I went for my little one, my one in the car yesterday.
Eye patch?
No, I had my hoodie over my head face.
Okay, cool.
All right? I have to have my nostrils free.
I'm
a nasal breather, you know? So those kind of things. Try and wake up the same time every day. Yeah. Okay, it might be a little bit of an issue at the start because you're changing that rhythm. But if you're over the shop, that one lie-in could probably knock you out of kilter a little bit.
So even one lie-in a week? Like you and I have kids, so lie-ins are something, and I think obviously lots of people listening will have kids, so lie-ins are something that we probably have once every 6 months when there's a day when the kids aren't there for some odd reason. Yeah. However, are you saying, for those guys without kids, Sunday lie-in, no?
Well, I mean, my daughter definitely does not do a Sunday lie-in.
Absolutely not.
No. So what we've done and what me and Ange do is that we wake up before our daughter.
Right.
Okay. We wake up before Emily. And that sets us up well. I mean, Ange is out. She's doing most mornings at the gym. So Ange is up at 5 o'clock. I generally tend to wake up at, it depends on what time I go to bed. So I'm trying to maximise my 8 hours. So I'm a little bit further along. It's not great. It's not ideal. But unfortunately, sometimes I don't get home until 9 o'clock. So I need at least an hour before I go to bed. So sometimes I'm up at 6. But it will flitter around, and I'll try and get that 8 hours. But it is hard with kids, don't get me wrong. If you do and you can sleep in, I'd say go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, but try not to go more than 12 hours.
No, absolutely.
That's a waste
and
of
also, we've all been there. You do that, you won't feel good afterwards either.
It's too much. It's too much. But anyway, if you get that regularity in 7 days a week, this will help your body clock get better.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I actually prefer to get up early on the weekends because there's less stress. Don't have to take Emily to school. This. My daughter's currently at my mother's, so this week I cannot believe the difference. You know, it's like it's been easier for sure, but it also makes me understand how hard. Well, I'm a parent anyway, but like the demands of being a parent, you know, and I think some people forget that. Yeah. That that is a full-time job in itself, and again can have issues in terms of stress management and what have you. So trying to help out as best as you can in the night, so you have a good night's sleep, can sort of provide a buffer for all those kind of stresses. So a couple of other things, all right. Sleep in a pitch black room with blackout blinds. Now I never had a clue what blackout blinds were until I met Angie. Yeah. And Angie was like, "We need blackout blinds." And without question, one of the best investments we've ever done. Yeah. So a blackout blind is basically thick, heavy curtains which go all the way up to the top and block every single ounce of natural light out of your room. Okay. Why? Because then you can sort of focus and the body can start to switch off. Yeah. Okay. Turn off all appliances and night lights. even if you've got a little green light on charge, that's going to cause some disturbed sleep. Okay, we could go even further and talk about EMS, magnetic waves and stuff like that, but that's a little bit cuckoo and woo-woo for my liking. Try and sleep in a quiet room as possible. Some people can use earphones, some people use earbuds. You might be partnered up with someone who's a snorer. Okay, so sleeping next to Ange is really tough because she snores all the time. No, I'm only joking. But yeah, I mean, even if you've got kids in your room, like Emily sleeps in our bed, but more or less every night, and it's a fairly disturbed sleep for me.
More or less every night.
Yeah. So sometimes I sleep on the floor. I just want to give my daughter the space she needs.
It's called her room.
Yeah. Hey, wait until your daughter's 4, and then we can have a chat about it. So those kind of things. I mean, if your kids have left the home or you haven't got kids yet, do this. Obviously, don't take any stimulants or too many fluids before bedtime. So get all that done in the day, because you're going to be up all night peeing.
The older you get, the more you'll pee as well.
Yeah. Or does your bladder shrink, or is just your ability to hold the muscles?
And I'd love to know, mate.
Yeah. If you have some carbohydrates with your meal 2 hours before bed, what that will then increase is serotonin, that feel-good hormone. Yeah. And then that will lead to melatonin being produced also, which is the sleep hormone.
So you're saying 2 hours before going to sleep, have some carbs. Make sure there's some carbs in your...
Yeah.
And that will help produce melatonin.
Yeah, so reading off the sheet here, has been shown to help quality of sleep and helps prevent waking. The brain doesn't sleep and doesn't stop using glycogen all night. So if the brain gets hungry, it will cause the release of adrenaline and cortisol to get glucose from the muscles tissues through a glucogenesis.
Right, okay.
So which is actually the breakdown of muscles.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So using proteins, amino acids, for a glucose energy source, which is definitely which you don't want.
Yeah, no.
That's catabolic.
Yeah.
Cool. This is a hard one, and something that when I have done it, noticed the difference straight away.
Okay.
But again, I think it comes down to a little bit of an emotional kind of thing, and I don't want to be necessarily telling people what to do. I have done it in my own household, and sometimes there's not good results with it. But no TV or phone within an hour of bed. The bright light prevents melatonin secretion, as I said.
Okay.
Wearing blue light blocking glasses will help reduce the waking impact of electronics on the eyes. However, I don't own a pair of blue glasses, nor do I want to, because I don't want to pick up my phone.
No, I think that's... there's a blooming addiction to the phones. I don't know if it exists. I was thinking a couple of nights ago whether there's an app that can monitor how many times you pick up your phone and look at it for even a few seconds. Yeah. I would love to see it, because it's almost like secret eating when you sort of write down what you've eaten. You've missed out half the chocolate bars you've had through the day. Yeah. We are in denial as to how 100%, much we pick 100%. Up that phone. Can't help it.
I'm going to just be honest with this now. It's one of the first things I do in the morning.
Absolutely.
And every time I do it, I just say, I'll just have a quick 5 minutes. So I use my phone, an app on my phone, to track my heart rate variability. Yeah. But I could just stop there and then. Yeah. Can you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I have to lie still for 2.5 minutes for this reading to take. Yeah. And I could just stop there. Yeah. However, I fail at listening to my own advice, and because let's say we run the gym and stuff, I want to check my emails. And I had to slippery slope emails into Instagram, into Facebook, every time.
I'm with you all the way, and everyone's got that excuse. It probably happens between every couple as well. What are you doing? So I'm checking my emails. So suddenly you've given yourself an excuse. I'm checking my emails. It's linked to work. It's linked to my livelihood. It's essential. Well, no, it's not. You could leave it an hour until you've woken up, had a glass of water, etc. We're all giving ourselves an excuse to do it. And you don't need to. You don't need to read that email at 6:30 in the morning. No. We don't, do we? No. But it's the excuse we give ourselves.
You don't need to read it before you go to bed either.
No,
this is the thing which I'm going, specifically, is that it's for a health reason. We don't. look, when this stuff is only starting to come out, and it only comes out when you start digging and reading through things. And the reason why it's not published is because people want you to buy iPhones. Facebook want you to use Facebook. It's because we're putting money in other people's pockets, right? Yeah. It's as simple as that. I mean, it's as black and white as that. It's a great tool. The world is at your hands. Yeah. You can experience everything. I think it's pushed, definitely pushed us forward with technology and advancements and communication stuff. But it's also taken one of the key fundamentals away, which is community. 100%.
Yeah. So what? Okay. This podcast, what is it? Today's Thursday, so we're doing this live. This is totally off the cuff. But what we are saying, I think, and is, are we saying an hour before bed, an hour after you wake up, not to use your phone in an ideal world?
Well, I mean, if
are we saying that?
Yeah, in an ideal
world.
Shall
we do that?
Shall we do that?
So I see if we
I
can do
I
it.
can't do it in the morning because I won't check social media and I won't check my emails in the morning.
Okay.
So, and the reason being is that I need to use my phone for my heart rate monitor.
Okay.
All right. But I will hold it to here until when we come in next week to see whether I've done it.
Okay.
And I'd be truthfully honest, but that's given me the spark and the goal in order to have the capacity to do it. Yeah. Because now you're going to hold me accountable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to hold hold you accountable. So yes, I'll do that. I have resisted in doing it in the evenings now.
You have you? What?
I have, but not 100%.
Okay. It's an addiction though.
100%.
This is
100%.
So what we're suggesting isn't easy.
But it's not seen as an addiction.
I know.
And this is the thing. They said the devil hides in plain sight. And these are the things. And it's the same with nutrition, gang, okay?
Yeah.
It's all these kind of things. I mean, I don't want to sort of come across as a kook or a conspiracy theorist, but I'm living my life in the health and fitness industry.
Yeah.
And it allows me to take a back step and just have a look at how things operate. Why? Because literally 1 to 5% of the whole UK population actually have a gym membership. Can you believe that? Out of 70 million people, 1 to 5%. I'll try and find the numbers. I actually think it's 5%.
Yeah.
And then 1% of that 5% are active gym members. So, I mean, you don't have to go to the gym to be fit and healthy.
Yeah.
But if you are an active gym member, you take your health and fitness a bit more seriously.
Yeah.
And it can be seen when I go into town. I'll tell you what I couldn't believe. Where was I the weekend? London. The amount of people smoking. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that stuff is scientifically proven to give you cancer. I've lost 2 grandparents before it. But some people just like to live on that side of...
And if you're doing that, you're not going to care about your health, are you?
No.
That's like an outward sign saying, I don't care about my health.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, you know what? I'm quite open and honest. I write people off straight away.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, cool. All right, good to know you.
You have a different perception on life and living than I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't take it as seriously as that. And the thing is, we've had members here who smoke and then come and smash themselves in the face doing fitness. I'm like, how about you just stop smoking?
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, so do I like drinking. Yeah. I like other things, but it doesn't mean you're going to do it. It's becoming less socially acceptable.
Yeah.
And personally, I like if someone smokes in the street, you're actually polluting me.
Yeah.
And it was happened today this morning where someone was literally next to me smoking a cigarette as I'm paying for a parking ticket. I'm like, you know what I mean? But I mean. It'd be interesting to know what you guys feel in terms of, post it on the comments once you've listened to this. But what you think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it fair that smokers get a break? Go down.
Because I understand the idea. And it's something legal. If someone wants to do it, they can do it. But
tax.
Yes. But we're all if we admit it, a little bit judgmental, aren't we?
Yeah.
And like Andy and
tribal.
Yeah, absolutely.
So me and you, Spence, our tribe is health and fitness. Yeah. That's what we enjoy doing. And so it's those kind of things.
But guys, with your phones, if you're listening to this thinking, what do you mean we're addicted to picking up your phones? What is an addiction? Surely something which is an addiction, which is something you can't stop doing.
For a certain amount of time.
Or what's an addiction?
I don't know. What is the dictionary? Let me have a quick look.
We're gonna have a look. What is an addiction?
So, fill the time, Spence.
Yeah, for me, it's something that you cannot stop doing. So it doesn't have to be a chemical connection. Like there's a well-known study with heroin saying that heroin doesn't really have a strong chemical hook. It's a social aspect. So if you want to go do a little Google on Rat Park, and Rat Park was somewhere where they did a test on rats where they had one rat in a cage with heroin in a bottle.
Cocaine? What kind of rat?
Was it cocaine?
It's cocaine.
Cocaine in a bottle, and the rat drank it until it's dead.
Yeah.
It freaking absolutely killed itself off. They then put 5 rats in the cage.
And had a bigger cage.
They had everything in there. You could have sex. There was blooming swings, roundabouts, loads to do. 2 bottles, one with coke, one without. And the rats chose most of the time the non-cocaine bottle and survived and lived very happily.
Yes.
So it kind of like dispels the idea that it's a chemical hook, even though it can happen.
Well, it's part of a chemical hook.
But it's social as well.
Yeah, there is a social element.
There's something missing in that life.
Correct. Yeah. So
trying to fill it.
We're going off on a hell of
Yeah,
a
sorry.
tangent here, right? But
You said to fill.
Yeah, I know. But it comes down to dopamine responses. But it's the same kind of thing with food. You'll probably find, but
it's the same with phones, though. It's an addiction.
Well, of course it is, because you're on your own.
Absolutely.
Why aren't you socialising with other people? Because
Absolutely.
you're living vicariously through other lives. I mean, Instagram is the perfect opportunity of this, and it's kind of ironic because we're putting an
I know. Stay on your phone for a little longer.
But I mean, I generally listen to these things now when I'm doing something.
Yeah.
And
or driving.
Yeah, because driving's dead.
classic.
I do not listen to the radio anymore because that is just literally crap. Absolute crap. Anyway, addiction. Wikipedia. Addiction is a brain disorder characterized by compulsive engagement in rewarding stimuli despite of adverse consequences. Despite the involvement of a number of psychosocial factors, i.e. social community, a biological process, one which is induced by repeated exposure to an addictive stimulus, is the core pathology that drives the development and maintenance of an addiction.
So that surely phones fit into that.
100%. The 2 properties that characterize all addictive stimuli are that they are reinforcing, i.e. they increase the likelihood that a person will seek repeated exposure to them, the phone, and intrinsically rewarding, i.e. they are perceived as being inherently positive, desirable, and pleasurable.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
Phones are an addiction.
So the thing to do, guys, is see if you're addicted to those phones and try it. Try and do it, hour before you go to bed, stop using your phone. Just have a go. And just do not pick it up. It's very, very, very hard to do.
Correct. Now, I just want to leave you off with a saying by John Wellborn. I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before, but he got this from his grandmother, and it just sort of resonated with me. I really sort of buy into it. Apologies if you don't. It is better to live like a farmer than a bartender. Farmers go to bed when the sun goes down and wake when the roosters crow. Bartenders hang out with drunks, don't go to bed till 3 or 4 in the morning and sleep all day. Be a farmer. And I think it's kind of a good saying, early bird catches the worm. We know.
Yeah.
We know. We want to rise. We should be just rising when the sun comes up. All right, and we should be in bed by the time the sun goes down. However, our environmental factors without artificial light prevents us from doing that. And I just think everything over the last 50-odd years has just got carried away with television and so on, and the advancements in technology. But, I mean, there's no harm in going to bed early. Trust me, you're not going to miss anything.
No.
I struggle to go to bed early because I don't get home till 9, and it's physically impossible for me to eat, de-stress, or decompress, as I call it, and get to bed any earlier than 10 o'clock. But I always make the effort to get into bed before 10 o'clock. Why? Because I want to get up early.
Yeah.
And so I would definitely believe if you want to turbocharge or take your health, I'm not even going to say your fitness, right? But you want to take your health to the next level, is start to work on your sleep hygiene. Cool. All right then, gang.
Awesome.
Let us know if you enjoyed it. Next week we'll be talking about nutrition or stress management. I'm going to leave exercise right to the end because we're already doing it, but we'll talk about nutrition and stress management. If you feel as if we've missed something, or you have a question to ask us directly about something which affects you within the gym or within health and fitness, then please just post a question on the group and we'd be happy to answer it.
Nice, guys. Take
Thank you.
care. Sleep
Bye-bye.
well.